Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show on this Monday, July 8th, 2019. Really glad to have you guys here. Now, Facebook's new Libre coin. I did shows on this last week, and I said that this is the power of the king having the power of the treasury, and that they would take the power of the treasury and actually they could actually be not just the government had the power of the treasury like it is now, but have corporations like Facebook have the power of the treasury. And it just seemed to me that, gee, will they really be able to get away with this? Because if they get away with this, this is nothing less than a corporate takeover of the government's power to produce money. Well, the government's starting to get on to them a little bit. The government, it took them a week or two, but they're starting to figure it out within the governments. What I was saying, like when I first heard the news. Anyway, let's take a look here, and let's start your charts right here. And, Maxine Waters, this is from Politico. Maxine Waters threatens Facebook's cryptocurrency plans. And don't take this lightly, because the House Financial Service Chairwoman, Maxine Waters, she said to them, you're offering scant information regarding the intent of this currency and its potential use for security. She's realizing that, that this is it. This is like, you give them this power, they have the power over the treasury. They can actually produce money. And it doesn't, and they're based in I get those countries mixed up. Switzerland, I think they're based in, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, that's what Facebook's going to base their new currency in, and I think that in Switzerland they always had Swiss bank accounts, right? So. Why aren't they, isn't it Switzerland? Anyway, don't hold me to that. But anyway, they're not going to be basing their company in the United States or someplace like that, where they can come under really strict regulations, or possibly could come under really strict regulations. The thing is if they're allowed to proceed, this is going to give them a lot of power. It says Facebook's audacious vision for creating its own global currency is at risk of being shredded on Capitol Hill, where the social media giant's attempt to educate skeptical policymakers is doing anything but calming nerves. So see, the government now is starting to realize, hey, you know what? They're starting to realize, dawning on them, what this is. And these policymakers. And now Facebook is having to answer up, like, what are you doing? You going to try to take the power of the treasury? It says Democrats, led by House Financial Services Chairwoman Maxine Waters, are backed by a coalition of watchdog groups that are warning that Facebook must put its Libre digital currency on hold so lawmakers and regulators can consider whether it is a threat to consumers and the global economy. So there you go. What does that all mean, basically? It means that you might never see a Facebook currency, because they're saying here that they must, it says they must put it on hold. Facebook must put its digital currency on hold so lawmakers and regulators can consider whether it's a threat to consumers in the global economy. I mean, once they put that on hold, and these lawmakers start to go over it and mull over it, and some of them are saying, well, it is a threat, and other ones are, and the first thing you know, you never see the Facebook currency come out, Let's take a look at another article here. And now this is across the ocean over in Europe. It says Facebook's Libre currency project receives a stern warning from the European Central Bank. And they warned Facebook it must not be allowed to create a rival for the current monetary system. Must not be allowed to create a rival for the current monetary system. So there you have it. where the central banks in the United States and Europe, they're starting to get upset about this, and they're talking about not allowing it or putting it on hold. Those are the two things I'm hearing anyway. On hold or not allow. So it doesn't really look good, even though Facebook is gung-ho right now. They're like on track, they're online, we're going to have this thing right away. Still, that's not what I'm hearing here. So I want to talk about something else right now. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about how we're heading head first toward a recession. And I'm not exactly sure which direction gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies are going to turn when the initial waves of deflation actually start to hit. Cryptocurrencies, gold and silver, could track upwards, or it could affect them negatively. Now that period of deflation that's coming, or possible deflation that's coming, probably will not last very long. A matter of days or weeks, or maybe even just a matter of hours, depending on how devastating it is in freezing up the financial system. It could quite literally, Deutsche Bank could go down. A few hours later, the entire financial system could be locked up. And basically, when the financial system is fully locked up, we've never seen this before, unless we were to go back to some time in history like the 1920s, you know. But we've never seen it in modern history, the financial system, the whole thing just stop. Lock up, freeze. We've never really seen that before. If it locks up like that, prices don't change. There's no trading. Everything's just stopped. It's like it's frozen. The whole thing's frozen, like a block of ice. Nothing moves inside a block of ice. So it would stay like that until it's fixed. But what would it take to fix it is the world's central banks working in unison to inject trillions and trillions of dollars worth of liquidity in there to get it unfrozen. Now, as soon as they do that, Bitcoin's going to take off to the moon, so is gold and silver. Just the knowledge that they've injected trillions of dollars to free the financial system up. So that's why I'm saying that if we do get some sort of a freeze or a dire condition within the financial system where institutions are failing, like Deutsche Bank, this could lead to a short, almost non-existent short. It could be, it could actually, the system could freeze, and a matter of a day or two later, while it's frozen, they unfreeze it. And then we're into the inflation, which will carry Bitcoin prices up, and so gold and silver too. Or it could extend in for a few days or weeks, even, if it's not so severe, where the system actually stays running, but with the deflation. That would be the worst case scenario, is if the system were to stay running, not completely freeze, but stay running with profound deflation for a few weeks or even months before the Fed finally reacts. That would be a worst case scenario. Say Deutsche Bank goes down, we get tremendous deflation, right? But they don't respond right away, and they let the system continue to trade. Because what would happen then is we'd get margin calls through the system. Margin calls everywhere. And the deflation would increase the value of the dollar. They would all run into the dollar and they'd sell almost everything. That's what I'm frightened of. That worst case scenario and how it could affect Bitcoin. Because if they were to run into the dollar and the Fed were to delay their reaction to the deflationary period. That's the worst case scenario, the worst thing that could possibly happen. And I'm still not sure Bitcoin would even fall in price. In fact, the financial markets can be strange in the fact that they might actually run to Bitcoin because it's a safe haven. And the same with gold and silver. So that's why I'm not altogether sure this will even happen, this deflationary period, or how long it'll be. But it could be imminent in our future with the decline and collapse and slow restructuring of Deutsche Bank going on, along with the Brexit, a hard Brexit probably coming up this fall. The stock market's starting to roll over. Big financial news in the financial scene about. Anyway, listen. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye.